What's up, Pirates? Wraith here with Awaken TCG, and today I'm going to be going over why I think that OP08 meta is so boring. I think OP07 meta was honestly more diverse. Now we have mainly the three black decks that are just going crazy, and then we have maybe Bonnie. But I feel like with Jack being a card, the 7 cost that KOs a 3 or less when you rest Jack, it just destroys Bonnie now. And so I think this is kind of the point we're at, right? So we have two decks here. We have Lucci and the starter deck Luffy that are two great mono black decks that just use all the best black cards. I think Luffy has a slightly better matchup into BY Luffy here on the screen, but it loses a little bit of points in like the rest of the matchup spread. So I think it's like, do you care about those other matchup spreads, or do you just want to beat BY, right? And then it's slightly unfavored into Lucci. But the issue we have now is uh, Lucci kind of gatekeeps, or Black in general gatekeeps most of the tier 2 decks, um, while BY beats Lucci and starter deck Luffy. The only deck that really keeps the BY in check is like things like Bonnie, but even now Bonnie just got worse because Rob Lucci gets Jack. Let me show you guys the card I'm talking about real quick. So this card just released, and basically it says the effect of this character, it gains 4 + 4 cost, which is just a ongoing effect, so it's always an 11, which is insane. And then activate main, you may rest this card, draw 1 card, and trash 1 card from your hand, then KO up to one of your opponent's characters with cost 3 or less. So you're able to KO a 4 drop as soon as you play it out, because with Lucci you can leader swing -1, and then you get rid of this. um so that just makes getting rid of Hawkins super easily, right? You can just go Tempest Kick, rest your Jack, and now the Hawkins has no target to actually use its effect, right? It can't use its ability. Um, I feel like pre-bans in OP07, the meta was kind of diverse. We had Lucci's, we had RP Laws, we had Bonnie's. We had a good amount of diversity, but now after the bans, it was literally Lucci, BY. That's it. We had a couple of ST Luffy's, but I think back then ST Luffy was still a bit worse. It did top a lot in Liverpool just because of the surprise factor, which probably caught people off guard. Although if you were prepared, it shouldn't have. And then obviously I don't even know if it topped once. I don't know if it got top 32 in NA Nats. I know I went X2 with Black Luffy. I had taken BY and Black Luffy. Wasn't able to make top cut, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. I did a lot better than my first Nats. And so now with Black being so strong, it feels like you really have to pick one of the three black decks, right? Rob Lucci, SD Luffy, or BY Luffy, right? If you're not picking one of these three going into a tournament, you're basically saying, I don't want a top 8. I'm not trying to win this tournament, which is a very unfortunate. I feel like you still can top. You can top 32, top 16 with tier 2 decks like Calgara, tier 2 decks like Dofi. I would consider Dofi tier 2 as of now, before the starter decks release. I think basically what everyone is waiting for is the starter deck release, because it's going to shake up the meta a little bit, and it's very needed right now. I think right now it's very still. We're basically still in the 07 meta, but just to a higher degree. Like, okay, now it's even extra boring, right? We have the black decks that are on top, and then we have basically nothing else, right? If you're deciding to play something else, I don't know. I think it's not as good. You're not giving yourself the best chance to actually perform. Um, what deck did I have here? Oh, it was the BY Luffy. So I think right now where the meta's currently at, I feel like we just we have to get through this last month. Starter decks are gonna come out. Boom, we can start playing Purple Luffy. We can start playing. What other decks get insane? Oh, Doflamingo. What else? I know there's a couple other decks that actually get some help that may not be tier 1, but like get extremely strong, and like that's the type of thing where it's like, okay, if someone doesn't know this matchup, they don't know the new cards. Surprise factor is a thing. You can go ahead and catch people off on tournaments. So I think November 2nd there's a tournament, which is a week after starter deck. So I do believe they will be live. I have to double check that. But like a tournament like that, you could take Pluffy with the new cards and like potentially go crazy, right? And so um, starter decks are going to come out, and then we're seeing crazy meta shifts in 09. So I believe that's what everyone's waiting for. Everyone's saying that '09 is so good. There's so much diversity. A lot of tier 2 decks are topping. There's multiple tier 1 decks that are very, very strong. Um, and yeah, I believe that we're just kind of in this period of where like no one really wants to play. The meta's kind of the same. There's nothing new to learn. Like a whole new set just came out, and there's really not much to learn at the highest level in terms of like new decks, combos. For the most part, this meta is already kind of solved from day one. Unlike when we get '09, they're still figuring it out in the East. So when we get '09, like it could still even change up even more, right? So and that's going to continue to happen as we get more and more cards. A lot of old cards and new cards are going to mix for new combos and, really just expand the game as a whole, right? So, like, maybe we can start figuring something out that the East won't, etc. Although I would love a global release, as we all would. As of right now, that's how it is. Um, Meta solved currently. Very unfortunate. I know we have three online tournaments in October. And so I'm going to try my best. I'm going to obviously play one of the black decks. I'm not too sure which one. I've been doing a lot of testing on Calgara, Carrot, just, having fun on the OA decks. And so I do have a Calgara guide going up tomorrow. So tomorrow on Saturday, it will be going up. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to yap. BY gets beat by Bonnie. Boa and Bonnie get gate kept by things like Black Luffy, um, ST Lucci, right? Boa's never losing to ST Lucci. I mean, Lucci is never losing to Boa, and so like if you really think about it, no one should be playing Boa. Really, like in theory, like that should not be played. You're just gonna lose to Lucci's. But the good thing about this game, right, is when you go to a tournament, you have 9 to 10 rounds of Swiss where you could dodge your worst matchup and do amazing, right? If it's top cut, that's when it gets a little hairy because you're gonna find your worst matchup always in top cut, right? So if you're playing Boa and you make top cut, odds are there's gonna be 3 to 4 or 5 Lucci's waiting for you in that top cut bracket. So if you get unlucky there, your run is over. Um, that's why I like to say if your goal is to win the tournament, you have to be playing one of these 3 decks, preferably BY Luffy or Lucci. And if you're Lucci, just dodge the BY, right? And to be honest, it is boring. Meta's boring. Black is the way to go. ACOS Gecko Moria is the card to be playing right now. So we're all excited for 8.5. Can't wait for that to release. And we're just kind of just chilling, vibing. I'm gonna be streaming some gameplay. I'm gonna be starting to test my list for these upcoming tournaments. Although I am waitlisting, so I'm not guaranteed to be in it. We're gonna definitely have some fun though. We're gonna have some fun on stream. I'm gonna be focusing on my stream while still giving you guys consistent content because we definitely are back. Took a extended break, longer than we probably wanted to, but you guys are gonna see a lot of good stuff coming up. I know I have a fundamentals video coming up. I have Calgara locals video going up tomorrow. A lot of things planned. Patreon content is coming. Like I said, it was an extended break that I did not want to take, but we're back in full effect. And thank you guys so much for watching this video. I will be glad to give you guys insane content for '09 because I know that's going to be super hype. Right now, it's kind of boring. It's like you guys don't want that same old Lucci, BY content, right? That is just, those are the best decks again, unfortunately, for now until '09. Actually, until 8.5, technically, I think Dofi might be the best. Anyways, guys, I love you guys. Stay tuned for all the good stuff coming up. You guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.